Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. with you today on a snowy Wednesday because we are in the thick of second winter in April in Chicago. You don't care about that. We got a lot to intro. We're going to skip most of it right now. Speed intro, follow us, come to our draft party, all those things, because we have limited time. Right off the top, we got to bring in our guy, Brad Spielberger. Hopefully not for the last time, but at least temporarily it might be. Brad joins the show because he has a much cooler new job that he's about to leave for. And, buddy, we just want to bring out one more time. Hopefully steal as much insight out of you as possible in these next 9 minutes. And then congratulate you on everything, too, and say thank you. So welcome in, Brad.
Yeah, thank you guys a ton for having me. Always a good time. And I told Carm, if Cole Kmet gets too cool for you guys, which I think is imminent, and maybe one of our clients gets drafted by the Bears, he can take his spot.
Hey, Cole wants more friends, so we're down for that. For those who missed it, by the way, Brad is now the Director of Football Administration for GC Sports Management at GCS. GC Sportsman, MGMT. Thank you very much.
You can't even say it properly.
I said it mostly right.
I think we should let Brad explain what that means.
Yeah, Brad, tell everybody what you're about to do and that the NFL will never be the same because of your new gig.
Yeah. So going to an agency called Grand Central Sports Management, or like you said, GC Sports MGMT on Twitter. Going to be the contract negotiator for the football clients. So kind of stuff I've been doing on the media side and projecting deals and working through all that. But now getting in the arena and doing it directly.
So who do you think you are? I mean, you did not call to consult me about this decision. I'm not happy with you. I barely wanted to congratulate you yesterday. Why are you ruining my life?
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty. There are a couple people that were like, selfishly, I hate this move, because I'd like to chop it up with you. I'll be around. I don't think I can fire off 1,000 tweets a day going forward, but I'm not disappearing entirely. I will be around. I'll probably have fewer Angry Bears tweets, which is probably good news.
You're going to miss us on Bears Twitter, man? I mean, how could you ever recover from that?
Yeah, nothing about Bears Twitter this offseason has been anything but rosy and positive and fun. So, how could I leave that oasis?
Well, and look, we're getting a $20 super chat for you, Brad, from Isaac Siegel saying, congrats, Brad.
Thanks.
Happy for you. You deserve it. And go Cubs go, LOL. And this is kind of what I was telling Brad yesterday via text, congratulating him. Dude, people are paying to thank you on our show right now. You'd resonated. You were always happy to come on. You had great information. You are easy to deal with. So, I mean, it's just always good to see people that are likable do well in this business. So, congrats, and we are all super happy for you, and you earned it. So, it feels like the perfect landing spot for you. You're way too smart to be doing what you're doing right now.
Thank you, and thanks to all the super chats as well. Appreciate you guys.
Now, that being said here, we might have a Brad Spielberger versus Ryan Pohl / Matt Feinstein situation coming up here in the near future. So, sides might have to be picked.
Take him down, Brad. I'm on your team.
Yeah, come on now. They got enough money.
We're Team Brad all the way. All right, since we do have you here, let's hit on some things. I know you've been tweeting all morning about this Stefon Diggs trade, which even though we kind of knew it was, I guess, a slight possibility, it still seemed like, whoa, when it happened. Diggs going to the Houston Texans. Obviously, money, feelings, whatever. There's a lot going on here, but explain your reaction to the trade as it came down this morning.
Yeah, so he's owed about $37.5 million over the next 2 years. His entire $18.5 million salary for this season is fully guaranteed already. A little bit more kicks in for 2025 as well. And I think the thing is, this goes all the way back to last offseason when Tyler Dunn and Go Long had that report about the fractured relationship between Diggs and Sean McDermott. We had that comment in training camp or maybe OTAs where McDermott said he was very concerned about Diggs, and I think that was kind of maybe the beginning of the end in some ways. Then Joe Brady comes in, and they kind of phased him out of the offense in Buffalo. As crazy as that is, his target share was way down the last 6-8 weeks of the year. So I think he goes to obviously this exciting young team in Houston. I mean, Stefon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, a lot of awesome weapons there. But I will say, I like the deal for Houston, no question about it. They're basically attacking the 2-year window before Stroud maybe becomes the highest paid player of all time. On the flip side for Buffalo, look, the Titans thought they got a steal with Julio Jones for a second-round pick, and the guy played like 10 games there. So there is downside risk for the Houston Texans as well.
So let me switch off of that deal to just a look at sort of Caleb and just premium guys coming in the league going forward in your new position here, Brad. NFL teams get control of these guys for, in essence, 7 years. And we've heard like just little rumblings of Caleb, group trying to like figure out if there's any leverage of something they can do, which everybody thinks can't happen. I'm wondering, like, do you see this changing going forward where some way, somehow, players coming in the league who have that much leverage won't be tied to teams for that long? Is there anything that can be changed in your mind going forward?
I'll tell you this. I heard firsthand about the interview question for agents from the dad about the can you circumvent the rookie wage scale? And I think the way to take it is we've all had those interview questions from jobs or internships where they ask you, hey, you have like a circle with a 16-foot, like it's just a dumb, like, hey, let's put this guy, light his feet to the fire, put him on the spot and see him be creative. I don't think he actually was asking agents to go talk to Roger Goodell and change the CBA. So put that aside, like, look, players are going to continue to push. The next CBA is not until 2032. So, I'll hopefully be battling for the players in that one and trying to get rid of the franchise tag and shorten rookie deals and all of those things. It's going to be a challenge. The previous CBA, guys could extend it after 2 seasons. Now, of course, it's 3. So maybe there's some wiggle room there, things like that. But the NFL has a ton of leverage. They know it, and they exploit it every time a CBA deal is negotiated.
So in terms of the rookie wage scale, because I think this is a concern for some Bears fans, because the Bears typically have their rookies signed fairly quickly, each year. Do you anticipate, it taking a little longer for, such a high prospect like Caleb with the Bears?
I mean, Brisker actually missed 1 day of the rookie minicamp. They were going back and forth there. The team was trying to give different terms than they did to Kyler Gordon. And ultimately my understanding is they relented and it matched Gordon in some of those aspects. So, yeah, I mean, look, the quarterbacks, there's always battles over offset language and things like that. It's kind of funny. The most relevant example, Zach Wilson and the Jets. Wilson also missed time in camp. Although the Jets are now happy they have that offset language because they're probably going to save $1 million from someone if they eventually cut him. So there will be battles. We all remember Roquan Smith as well. There is going to be a back and forth, especially if Caleb chooses to still not hire an agent. But I do think the Bears will get him in camp, by the first day of rookie minicamp.
Brad, every time there's a trade like what went down this morning, my mind immediately goes to like comparable trades or, just for instance, I was immediately like, Keenan Allen for a 4th, Stefon Diggs for a 2nd next year. I feel like there's been a lot of trades this year where you're just like, not you necessarily, but in general, it just seems like the reaction is, wait a minute, that was it? That's all it took? I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah, so it's very common. And I think the biggest thing to always remember is that you're trading for the contract as much as you are the player. And teams are always cognizant of, hey, if this guy gets hurt or if we can't agree to an extension for Keenan Allen, for example, as good as he is, a 4th-round pick and $23 million for 1 season of Keenan Allen, not a great ROI. Like, I'm not saying I dislike the trade. So that's always the next variable is what you have to pay cash-wise and then just protecting yourself from the downside risk of, look, guys get hurt in this league. But, yeah, I think there's also the Rams, for a reason, started chasing these trades because they thought the market went too far and that there were good players available worth the trade comp, and they obviously proved that to be true.
Brad, thank you so much for jumping on.
Brad, you do not boo people when they advance in life. I will be so happy when you advance in life.
I'm rooting for Greg. Come on now.
I can't wait till you advance to the next life.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that's
all the way to death. That's my guy.
He's been close lately here, Brad. He's
just
been
to
sick.
be clear, Greg was talking to Carman, not to Brad when he said that. For those listening to the podcast, Brad, last question for you: are you a blue cheese guy?
Big blue cheese guy. Braggs, we're going to fight now. That's the dumbest take I've ever seen.
Get him off the show.
You're not a blue cheese guy. You're a child.
Thank you. Thank
He
you.
is.
Thank you.
I think even he would
Get him
agree
off
with
the
that.
show, Steven, right now. Well, you're a
Brad,
smart
good luck
guy,
with
but
everything. We'll be in touch down the road. Thank you so much.
we'll miss you, Brad.
Congrats,
Go
Brad.
ahead.
That's awesome. I mean, just look at the chat right now. I mean, this is
Damn it.
I'm sad.
It is sad.
You're not sad. You're trying to.
It does
No,
suck.
it is
For
sad.
real, it does suck for us, and for real,
Sucks for everybody. I mean,
it
I'm
kind
not
of
worried
does.
about
It
everybody.
sucks for like NFL Twitter in general because
yes.
Brad. But this is why he got hired, because what he's been doing is not really replicated out there. And to Carm's point, is like not everybody in this business is nice. And he's very nice. He's very approachable. Anytime you have a question for him, he's going to answer it. Just like this morning, because Kyle Long canceled on us, and we said, Brad, come on for one last time. And he's like, yeah, sure, I got you.
Can we talk
By the way,
about
Kyle
that?
Long did not can. I just want to address that real. Kyle Long is not feeling well. He has a stomach bug or something.
He
as
ate
mentioned
blue
on-
cheese and now he's sick.
Yeah, he had too much blue cheese.
I guarantee it.
But
I think we're going to reschedule that for Monday. Kyle Long will be joining the show.
so I was super excited to talk to Kyle, and Brad was a great substitute. But and Kyle and I have a great relationship. He loves me, and I love him. Dude's too sick to come on and sit in front of the computer. What's up with that? This is the toughest guy of all time. He had one of the most horrifying injuries in NFL history. He had to get carried off in the cart. He's banging on the cart, telling everybody, like, keep going, get after it. To talk in front of the camera. What happened to Kyle Long? He's gone south, man.
Okay. Shocking that the guy who's been coughing and choking into
I'm
his
still here.
microphone
He's here.
for
I'm here.
2 months now.
I'm literally
doesn't
dying.
understand that when somebody's literally vomiting all morning, that maybe doing a live interview isn't the easiest or best decision to make when you can just have him come back Monday and do a nice, healthy.
That's true. I mean, he's, it's self-care. He's, taking care of himself so he can get better. You are sick every day and just keep showing up. And maybe if you, took a week off, for the
listened to me
betterment
a
of
month
all of
ago,
us,
I
or a
can-
month off.
I can listen to the guy to the right. You sound terrible most days. You look terrible all days. I don't think you have a leg to stand on in this particular discussion. Should I take a day off? Probably, yes, I should. But I think
Did
I'm
you
getting.
fake that one, or was that real?
It was. I started to fake it, but then it was real, and now it's real. And I mean, listen, I had to go to upper management today. I had to get a professional coaching session so I could feel like I'm not leaving the earth. But if I am, I just left it a better place, and you guys are all welcome that you got to hang out with me for the moments that I got to be here. So that's how I'm
It
going
was
to live
an
my
honor
life.
and a privilege.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think we can all agree Carm is closest to the next life.
Nope, stop the vote. Ranch at 100%.
Okay.
I made a poll, ranch or blue cheese.
I got the first vote in, so it was at
It's
100%.
I don't.
It's at 72% right now. 18 votes
Okay,
in.
don't care.
I agree with Brad. Ranch is a child's condiment.
It is.
Blue
It is
cheese
not.
is an adult.
No, it isn't. You're both stupid.
I
Right.
actually forgot to bring it in. I made a nice buffalo chicken dip the other day, and it had blue cheese all mixed in. The recipe called for ranch. I said no, F that. We're going blue cheese. Blue cheese crumbles on top. Tasted phenomenal, and I should have brought it in and made you eat it, and we could have done some content with it.
There is nothing worse than when you order wings, takeout, get home, you got that cup in the wings, and when it comes out and it's blue cheese and not ranch.
Okay.
There is no worse moment.
Well,
for
there is,
anyone.
and it's when the opposite happens, and also just check before you leave the restaurant, like I do
I think
every
we got a
single
pretty
time.
good split here in the chat as
Yeah.
far as
Gary Ross and I have never been on the same page. He says ranch is the worst condiment ever made on this planet.
This is big. I mean, anything's possible now.
This is bringing
World
Gary
peace.
Ross and Adam Hoge together.
World peace is possible. There's
my mom's in the chat saying blue cheese. Well, Mom, you're stupid.
Oh, come on.
Now we don't.
I mean, can you imagine, Barb? Can you imagine your life? This guy in front of a camera, able to call you dumb, is
Well,
that's the thing. All
I
right,
mean, she also
it's
likes
wrong.
Thanksgiving food, so what does
Yeah,
she
all
know?
right. Okay, stop talking. We're
Just,
gonna get
just
into
when we
tr-
finish splitting our audience between Caleb Williams and Justin Fields, now we have ranch and blue cheese.
Yeah. Did it ever occur to you?
always
you're
gonna be
the
divide.
one splitting Bears Twitter in half.
Good.
We're gonna get
You
to
couldn't
trade.
just live 1 week with everybody being excited about Caleb. You had to divide everyone with blue cheese and ranch.
That's right.
We're gonna get to trade down options in a moment here, but first, this from Adam Hoge.
Your passport to the world of sports. Not me, but True Fan Travel. We're excited. Over 8,000 fans have traveled over 145 trips with True Fan Travel. You don't want to just watch the game. You want to live the game. Travel to the most sought-after games worldwide, from football to baseball to basketball, soccer, and more. They have custom travel packages that include tickets, 4 to 5-star accommodation, 3 if you're Brags, you get the 3-star accommodation. Everyone else gets 4 to 5-star accommodations and unique local experiences, making it an unforgettable sports getaway. They have exclusive meet and greets with former players, shake hands, snap photos, share moments with legendary former players of your favorite sports, hassle-free travel planning by travel experts who make sure every detail is covered. You can explore their wide selection of destinations featuring iconic sports cities and hidden gems where the spirit of the game comes alive. Your trusted travel partner for professional sporting events around the world. That is True Fan Travel. Check them out. And why are we telling you all this? Well, you could probably guess at this point, but we got some things in the works with True Fan Travel coming up for this season, and just keep that in your back pocket. True Fan Travel, we got some things we're announcing soon with them. This is going to be the best way to go about your football business this season. Let's just say that.
All right, we got a guy, $49.99 super chat from Ryan saying, "We are all kids at heart. We argue over Carm's inevitable death, for Christ's sake. Ranch is king. Braggs is right." You guys, $50 on your
$50
on your ranch blue
Let's see
cheese.
somebody drop
Congratulations.
50 for blue cheese. Thank you, Ryan.
I'm going to pay you $50 to just do a break properly.
Empire Today. There is no properly. These are not.
There
breaks.
is. We had a meeting about it 3 weeks ago. There
That's
are
true.
now
We
officially
did.
proper ways to do
But
break.
you're now not helping it with what you're doing.
No, I know, but it was Carm's fault.
All right. I'm a genius. We are in the middle of letting you know about some of our very important people. It's not a break. I don't care what you say. But I do want to tell you about our friends Empire Today. Get your flooring done where you get the shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, the quick and professional installation, and you get a low price guarantee. Not the lowest price, because they don't use the worst quality. Anyone who does that is just putting flooring into your home they wouldn't put in theirs. That's not what Empire Today does at all. They pride themselves on their convenient shop at home services as well. They help customers shop for floors where they use their floors, so they can see exactly what their new floors will look like in their home's lighting and decor. Make an informed decision. The whole thing. Braggs, you need some new flooring. Mm-hmm. Your house is disgusting. Schedule a free home in the cul-de-sac. Your neighbors don't like you. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off. You get that discount when they use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. All right. Hoge, draft trade downs. Let's go.
Yes, so today what we are doing is we inch closer and closer to the draft. We are going to look at some scenarios that could make sense for the Bears, possibly trading out of that 9 pick, trading back. Who could be some potential partners in all this? By the way, my Bears Mock Draft 2.0 will be dropping in the next 24 hours. I think we're recording the video after the show. It's already been written. It'll be in your inbox probably either later today or tomorrow morning for CHGO diehards. Become a diehard. I will start this exercise as we talk about potential trade down partners. And I am calling up our friends. I literally actually did this over Slack about an hour ago. Our friends over at DNVR. Mm-hmm. Saying, yo, Broncos, interested in coming up here to the 9 pick? Now, what they're coming up for obviously matters, and we'll get into a deeper discussion about the scenarios. But I think this is under the premise that one of the 4 quarterbacks considered near the top is available at 9. And they don't go early, which kind of creates a situation for the Bears, right? Maybe you don't have Rome Odunze available now. Now you got the Broncos, potentially other teams calling you to move up. So let's say, hypothetically, J.J. McCarthy's sitting there at 9. Broncos are interested. Sean Payton's saying, this is my guy. Ring, ring. You pick up the phone. Bears are looking at trading back 3 spots. What would they have to give up? What would the Broncos have to give up? This is what I came up with, consulting our DNVR friends a little bit. But basically, move back 3 spots, you get next year's second-round pick. Here's the problem with trading with the Broncos. Again, we're just looking at scenarios here and possible partners. The problem with the Broncos is they don't have a second-round pick this year.
That's a problem.
Looking at past trades, that would maybe be a little steep anyway. So let me ask you guys this. Would you rather have this year's third-rounder, which is pick 76, one pick after the Bears pick 75th, or next year's second? And you would have 3 second-round picks next year.
I would take the second next year because you're not helping your gap this year as much as it'd be nice to have an additional pick. I would take the bigger swing and hope for the second round pick next year.
But I think you could squeeze, because of course you're going to want that second round pick, but I think you could squeeze another pick from this year out of them because they're only giving a pick up from next year, and if they are moving up,
but it is a whole round higher.
Sure.
Second round versus
Sure,
third
I get
round,
it,
yeah.
but if they want a quarterback for their future.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring up. If this scenario plays out, and let's say the Vikings haven't already traded up for Drake May or something big like that, which may happen. What if the 2 teams calling you are the Vikings and the Broncos? Because that creates an interesting negotiation spot. Because if you're Ryan Poles, you don't necessarily want to send J.J. McCarthy to Minnesota, I guess, unless you're convicted as a front office and that you don't like J.J. McCarthy too much. Maybe you do want to send him there, but I actually don't think that that's how the Bears view him. And regardless, given their quarterback situation, that you got both teams calling you, you're going to be asking for more from the Vikings, obviously, within your division. And then if you're the Broncos, if the Vikings are willing to give up more, you're obviously going to try to get the Broncos to then give up a little bit more. And they might just call your bluff and be like, come on, you don't want to send them to Minnesota. You just don't want to do that. So we're standing pat here. That would just put you in a really interesting spot if you're Ryan Poles.
Well, it's also assuming that Denver would know that Minnesota's interested and you're being transparent about who you're talking to.
Well, right. And if you're the Bears, you probably don't want to give up that information.
And if the Vikings, you do end up making, they have to pay up because you're going to trade within the division. Well, you're going to pay that division tax.
What's interesting to me about...
Right, that would be this year's second, Minnesota.
Well, J.J. McCarthy's name is out there, continues to be out there in wild and crazy ways, even as far as some people are putting out that the Bears might be interested in J.J. McCarthy over Caleb Williams, which I don't think anybody actually believes except for the couple of people who have mentioned it. But how high up is J.J. going to go? I mean, there was, I don't know what I was listening to yesterday, but it was a whole theory that Arizona is going to trade Kyler Murray as part of a package to get J.J. McCarthy at 4. So it literally could go 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes little sense. But the point of the matter is that it's being discussed, and it does feel like J.J. might go as high, like in the top 6, right? Like if you had to bet on it right now, it seems like we're going to have 4 quarterbacks in the top 6 picks, which if you're the Bears, you have no control over this, but you would much prefer that JJ is sitting there at 9, and then if you are trading down, you can actually get a haul because somebody wants to come up and get him. So that's what you're really hoping for.
Look,
but it does help him if he goes in the first 4 because someone's going to drop.
That's where I'm skeptical that 4 quarterbacks go ahead of the Bears pick. And I'm going to sound like repetitive, but on purpose, of stuff I was saying last year. One of these guys always falls. Always. Last year, what was the discussion? Four QBs before the Bears pick at number 9. That didn't happen. Will Levis fell out of the first round.
Yep.
Okay, it ended up going Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, number 4.
But Richardson jumped. When we were
but we knew that by draft night.
Right, but if we were a month leading into the draft at this moment last year, Anthony was climbing, so that was legit. And Will Levis had initially been presumed as a guy who was going to be a late first rounder, and then all of a sudden, like a couple weeks before the draft, people were like, he might go top 3, which ended up being bullshit. This time around, though, with J.J. McCarthy, he has for a while now been considered a potential top 5 pick. Like, I'm not hearing late first rounder for him ever about him.
Yeah, but I guess my point is, well, first of all, I don't view him that way, and I don't view Jaden Daniels as a top 5 pick either. That's my own personal evaluation. That's not what I'm saying is going to happen. What I am predicting is that one of these 4 guys doesn't go as high as they're saying. Well, whether that's maybe the Jaden Daniels love all of a sudden with Dan Orlovsky saying he should go number 1 instead of Caleb Williams, which is fucking wild. If they wouldn't take Justin Fields in the top 10, why are you taking Jaden Daniels, who's smaller than Justin, earlier? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Whether it's J.J. McCarthy, is this smoke? All of a sudden, there's talk about Drake May falling. Was public draft Twitter too in love with Drake May? Or I don't know. What I do know is Caleb Williams going number 1, and if I had to bet on it, only 3 quarterbacks go ahead of where the Bears pick, because that's usually what happens.
Well, let's just hope that you're right. And
right, 100%.
Let's hope that you're right. And it honestly it doesn't really matter if it's JJ. If Jaden Daniels is on the board at 9 when the Bears are on the clock, if they play it all the way out, that, to state the obvious, would be sweet. You want one of those 4 quarterbacks to be at 9 if the Bears are considering trading down, which I hope they are, because...
Yeah, but real quick, though, both scenarios are okay. If 4 quarterbacks do go, one of those blue-chip players is probably available for you.
That's
you don't
right.
have to trade back.
Right, which is why either way, yes, it is good for the Bears, which is why it's sweet to have the number 9 pick, and it's sweet to have the 1 pick, and the Bears are in a great position at the top of this draft. Not as great, obviously, as it goes on with only 4 picks, which is why when you look at the whole roster, I mean, I go back and forth. If you get your guy at 9 and you think that's going to make an immediate impact, okay, great, that's sweet. But if one of those guys falls and someone can come up to 9 and you can add multiple picks in with the amount of receiver talent that is in this draft, and you could get both a lineman and a receiver somehow in the first 50 picks versus just getting your guy at 9, that to me would be the home run if they get the picks right. Not huge if there, but that would be the home run scenario for the Bears.
I want to make this point. A lot of mock drafts out there, and I like mock drafts. I'm on record of that. I just think it's fun exercise. We can talk about how things could play out. But a lot of mock drafts right now look like this: quarterback, 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 wide receiver, offensive tackle, wide receiver. That is not how NFL teams operate, dude. Quarterback, sure, but you're telling me only 1 offensive or defensive lineman off the board in the first 8 picks. Teams build through the trenches.
Right.
Most football guys in the league feel that way. So I get that there's a lot of wide receivers. I get that there's a lot of quarterbacks here. But as I've been saying for months, you rarely ever see runs on wide receivers in the top 10. It usually starts around number 10. You have exceptions, certainly, like Jamar Chase, right? But you don't see the runs. Now, this might be a rare draft where 3 wide receivers legitimately are worthy of going that early, and that might be a rare time where that happens. But I'm just telling you, I will be shocked if 4 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers are off the board before the Bears pick, because that is not really the NFL. The NFL is more so, where are the offensive tackles? Where's my stud pass rushers? We build that way. And I just think when push comes to shove, you're going to see one of the quarterbacks or wide receivers fall past the Bears.
So you think...
Or to the Bears if they're drafting the wide receiver.
In the top 8, Adam Hoge's best guess, and I'm pretty sure that I 98% agree with you. You think Joe Alt's going, and you think that Verse, Turner, who do you think's going to go?
I'll give you, this is a good example. Lance Zierlein, who we mentioned on yesterday's show, does a great job. He had a mock draft come out yesterday. And kind of going against what I was just saying, he had 4 quarterbacks in a row and then 2 wide receivers. And I was like, wow, man, like that's – but then guess what? Then an offensive tackle. And then the Falcons taking Jared Verse. So now, okay, all of a sudden you did get that offensive tackle off the board. You did get that edge rusher off the board, and bam, Rome Odunze's there for the Bears at number 9. To me, that's likely.
The 3 wide receivers going in before the Bears pick, I'm with you on. But the 4 quarterbacks going before the Bears pick, I do think is very much on the table. If J.J. McCarthy is taken ahead of Jaden Daniels is not making it to 9. I can see J.J. McCarthy making it to 9. I cannot see Jaden Daniels making it to 9. Somebody is
bringing up the Justin Fields comp.
There's enough teams there's enough teams from 4 through 8 that would be willing to trade back. I don't think J.J. McCarthy should be a top 10 pick. To me though, Jaden Daniels, there's no question to me. He's got enough. If Anthony Richardson is a top 5 pick in this league, then at least was a team was willing to go there. Somebody is going to be willing to bet on the talent of Jaden Daniels.
Let me talk to you about unconscious bias for just 1 second here with J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy barely threw the ball at Michigan.
Right.
He led a running offense. There is some level of buy-in going on to the makeup of J.J. McCarthy that might not be afforded to other quarterbacks if he didn't look like J.J. McCarthy. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good quarterback, but it is wild to me that somebody who didn't throw the ball all that much is skyrocketing up because of he's a winner and he's got all these intangible things that you can't pass on. I'm not saying he's not going to be great, but this feels a little bit nuts to me that
they won a national championship and you have one of the top quarterback developers advocating as much as he can for him. I get it. I understand that.
I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying somebody's wrong about one of these quarterbacks and how much hype they're getting. One of them will fall. They always do.
To 9, I'll be happy if it happens, but I'll also be surprised. It'll be a perfect scenario if a quarterback falls to 9 for the Bears, but I just will be surprised if it does happen.
And Hoge, are you predicting that it's Jaden? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying one of them.
One of them. Okay, so you're not going to.
I don't know who.
Well, it's only Jaden or JJ. There's no way Drake.
I wouldn't say there's no way.
There's no way.
Excuse me. Thank you. I'm here.
Do you need me to do it?
No, I'm gonna battle through it because I'm gonna.
Are you gonna actually start it?
Enjoy every minute that I'm here. Yes, Prize Picks, my friends. The largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, where Nicholas Moriano has been dominating it day after day after day. Because you know why? It's the easiest and it's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of betting thousands of other players, including pros, sharks, you don't want that. All you want to do is pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection, and you can watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks, literally it's something for every one of you who is watching the show right now. Baseball, basketball, everything in between. It's funny here. I mean, listen, you can pick LeBron. You can pick Shohei. You could pick Connor McDavid. You can do any of them. And yeah, listen, it's fun because you can combine different sports and different props and use your sports intelligence. And you can turn $10 into 1,000, just a few taps. That's the way to do it. This is what you do. Check it out. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Just remember, more or less. That's it. prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO. First deposit match up to $100, $2 for every $1 on your first 100. Great deal there for you, making you realize, trying to get you on board because you're going to love it. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy.
Sometimes things need to change, like the way Greg treats his mother on the show.
Damn right.
One thing that doesn't, the great taste of Miller Lite, the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one. You know that. Miller Lite has more of the taste you want and less of the stuff that you don't. I know that when I get home, a lot of days, and it's been a long, long day dealing with these two, right? I get home, what do I need?
I need a Miller Lite right now.
Right out of the fridge. Miller Lite. It's always cold, ready to go. And these moments in life. They matter the most with the Miller Lite. And same thing when it comes to the draft coming up. Best way to celebrate what the Bears are going to do is with Miller Lite. We're going to have a lot of fun with Miller Lite and continue to enjoy it because Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories, and it holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer, less filling, only 96 calories, the original light beer since 1975. No matter how your team changes, you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. Go to get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football. That's right. You can do that. MillerLite.com/CHGO football. You can get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces.
All righty then. Gregory or me? Would you like to do Gregory or would you like to do me?
First of all, I would like to address this. If Iowa wins the national championship, I'll drink a whole case of Miller Lite.
Does he mean like a 24-pack?
I mean, well, first of all,
Vegas Nick.
This
Vegas
is from Nick
running it back.
Nick's chat. First of all, I think we need to clarify so we don't give them an out. You are talking about the women's basketball team. Can't be like, oh, I was talking about the men's team. Yeah.
He doesn't want it out.
Yeah. Also, I would recommend you not do that.
Well, what you will do, Nick, because you just said that, is you will drink, is it 3 Miller Lights on the next show that he does here, or 2, or 4?
Or 6.
I think
He's
3.
going to drive home.
3?
He's got to get home. Why don't you do that on Friday?
You could drive him home.
From home. He can do it from home. How many?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Let's have some fun here.
5.
5. That's right, Nick. Friday show, 5 Miller Lights.
One
Let's go.
drink.
One for every point that Caitlin Clark
You
scores.
could drink a cup of blue cheese.
Okay.
So-
Or no. How about this? One for every 3-pointer she makes.
There we go.
That's pretty
Did
good.
she make 9 last game?
She had 9 last game. But more realistically, we're talking maybe 6, 7.
He
In the
says he could
championship
handle
game or
it back
the-
to the Iowa days.
Yeah. In the championship game or in the Final Four total?
Well, we should probably make it the Final Four just in case they lose.
Well, we're doing this if they win. That was the
They have
caveat.
to win. Okay. Oh, they have to win the national championship game.
He said if they win the championship. So, okay, however many she drains in the championship game, Nick, you're on. Let's go. All right. Back to the trade downs.
Yeah.
Me or Braggs? Me? I'll go. Or do you want to go, Greg?
Whatever you
ready?
want. I don't care.
Well, I'm better than you, so I'll go first. So I'm looking for a little
That's
more.
not what the poll said.
Those are your people. You tweeted that thing. That's fine. The poll said
You did rig that poll.
How did I rig the poll?
Because he's not winning a Twitter poll against you.
What poll in what medium or platform or any open event is he going to win?
tennis.com.
Yeah, I was about to say that. If you go to his tennis club and
Go
does
to
a
the
poll
tennis
there.
club. I bet you more people would vote for me because he's probably an insufferable jackass at the tennis club.
I'm on 17 tennis teams because people
And
love
I'm
me.
sure they all hate you.
Okay, you're wrong.
What is a tennis team? It's an individual sport.
Stop talking. Is baseball an individual sport? You're at the dish by yourself.
No, I know, but I'm asking how the team is this like?
You know, there's this thing called doubles. You're on the same court
I
together.
didn't mean doubles, obviously.
Okay, we'll do it on a
team. Is that what you're talking about? Doubles? You're on 17 doubles teams.
I'm not talking about this anymore. All right. Let's go down to Jacksonville, who's sitting at 17. The Jags have 17,000 needs. They could use a big-bodied receiver. They could use a pass rusher. They could use a corner, which I don't think they're doing. They could use a defensive lineman who might be there at 9. A lot of needs for Jacksonville. Bears need picks. Jacksonville's got a ton of them. So we are going down to the Jags at 17, and we are getting a second-round pick in return, 48. So the Bears are banking on their wide receiver knowledge, because there's a ton of them, and or their desire to perhaps impact the interior offensive line at 17, and then they add on at 48. So you can literally flip it either way. Line at 17 or receiver at 17, line at 48, receiver at 48. We're going down to Jacksonville, baby. Let's go.
Who is Jacksonville moving up for?
I just gave you 4 different people that they could be going up for.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, from 17 to 9, you got to give up more than just a second-round pick. That's a high jump in the first round. 8 picks. I need a little more meat on that bone.
Okay, if you go by actual value of the picks, the polls just fleeced them, for the record. If you look at straight value. So it's not if that's how you're doing it.
Well, they did just lose a wide receiver. If you're the Bear, let's say Rome Odunze is available, Jags want him.
They also got Gabe Davis too, though.
Yeah, they did spend money on that. I'm going to stick to what I just said, though. They still need a wide receiver. Not a big Gabe Davis guy.
Well, it could also. You're also looking. They could use an edge. There's a lot of things.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to. If you're sitting there and Rome Odunze is available to you, what are the Jags giving you to get you off of Rome Odunze? You're saying a second round pick is.
No, probably not. But I don't listen. I also think. I mean, you guys went first here, so I had to be a little more aggressive. My options were either go down 1 pick to the Jets, which I thought.
Well, he also picked a team that was picking ahead of the Bears.
I got a little confused for a second.
You missed that part.
I got a little confused for a second. Let's not talk about that. But I did go to are the Jets going up 1 spot to get an offensive lineman? I mean, maybe, but it's just was boring. So like I'm saying that the Bears are falling in love with somebody that they know will be there at 17. That you've heard polls talk about the numbers. Admittedly, I don't love my scenario as much as going back a couple of picks and getting Rome Odunze there. I think the Bears could very end up turning out that they go down to 11 and or 12 and still get Rome. Although I don't really think that the Vikings thing is legit. Who do you have, Gregory?
Well, for me, I'm identifying a quarterback because we are hoping that one of these 4 quarterbacks falls to 9. I don't. This Michael Penix stuff, I don't know.
I like Penix.
Let's get crazy here. 5 quarterbacks in the top 9 if 4 go in the first 4 picks. Why not, right? Regardless, my dream scenario is that there is a quarterback that somebody wants at 9, and the Raiders are the team that wants to move up to get them. So they, for me, are going to give the 13th pick on a swap, the 2nd round pick, number 44, and then a 4th round pick, because in this scenario, when teams are battling it out for a quarterback, I don't care what the value chart says, I need a little more meat on the bone, period. If I really wanted, I'd ask for 2 2nd-round picks to start. That'd be the starting block. I'd be like, I got 3 other teams that are trying to move up for this quarterback. You can give me a 2nd-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick next year. But, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of dance and negotiation. So be it. But for me, I gotta get some true value there if I'm going to move off of a blue chip player, offensive tackle or wide receiver or edge rusher. It's not going to be just 1 pick for me, period.
Yeah, see, so we're running into real conversations that happen here because Carm's trade actually lines up when it comes to the draft value charts. However, to me, it doesn't get me off the fact that I'd rather have Rome Odunze than your trade value,
right?
Being equal. Your trade is way better than Carm's trade in terms of the return. You're picking at 44 instead of 48, and you're getting the 4th round pick on top of it, and you're only moving back to 13 instead of 17.
What a shock that Braggs would not live in reality.
Right. So your trade is probably unrealistic, except
if it's for a quarterback.
For the reality that you're paying a quarterback tax.
Correct.
And if you all of a sudden do have a situation where J.J. McCarthy's still there, the Vikings are interested, the Raiders are interested, the Broncos are interested.
Exactly.
You have a bidding war, which is why I always say this, the market is the market. The market is the market in the moment. If last year the Eagles were the only team calling the Bears to move up 1 spot and all they were offering was that 4th round pick next year, what are you going to do? You take it.
Right.
But you didn't have 3 teams calling you. That was the best you could do. But if you have a bidding war for a quarterback, that's where all of a sudden maybe you do get into Greg Bragg's unrealistic land.
And that's why, because if there isn't a quarterback available or a team trying to move up that doesn't need a quarterback, the value chart, the Bears aren't going. It's not, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Then the Bears are just going to sit on it.
You're probably right. I listen. Certainly if there's somebody that they really want there, they are going to make the pick. What I like about when I just look at Poles' history, going back one pick last year for a 4th round pick, no one is going to sit there and be like, oh, that's a sweet trade, Ryan. Way to go. Like, he almost has to sell the pick. Like, yes, we're not taking Jalen Carter. We're only going back one. He got, at that point, what was the best that he could possibly do.
That might have been the only team asking to move up for Jalen.
Right, and he didn't, and getting his guy in Darnell. He wasn't willing to go back further. So this was the best he could do, and he didn't really worry about what people are going to say. There are plenty of GMs that don't do deals or don't cut players because they're worried about how it's going to be written, public perception, how it's going to make them look bad. Poles hasn't operated that way. He went up and he traded for Claypool. It didn't work out. That was, I think fair deal at the time, but turned out awful. A year later, I'm not going to worry about the fact that I'm doing the same exact thing. He had conversations about it. He spoke about that and they told him to keep firing. So I just think we have a GM that is kind of on his own side in a way it's attractive to me.
Because when you talk about the quarterback tax and what the value chart says, I mean, when the Bears traded up to 11 to take Justin Fields, I'm sure that didn't line up exactly with what the chart was to get him. And what did they give up?
The chart's a guide. It's just a guide.
Sure.
That's
just a starting point. Did you guys see that video of Monty Ossenfort that's been going around Twitter of him working the phones last year? It's pretty awesome. It gives you, it's like behind the scenes look at like how crazy it actually is. He's picking up his phone. He's trying to, you got other people in the room picking up their phones with other teams, and you're trying to put it all together.
I could do that.
All this trade value stuff needs to be in your head as a starting point. And then you start picking up 3 different phones, and I got the Broncos on one, I got the Vikings on the other, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars for some reason on the other. I got the Titans, even though they actually picked 2 picks before me. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yep,
that was a shot at you, but that's how much I.
That was good. You got in your whole point and got a shot in, sort of like an NFL GM. It was
great.
The head was moving all over the place. Eric Skoglund would like you to tweet that out. You can do that, Hoge. Skoglund would appreciate it. Thank you, Skoglund. Eric Skoglund.
Oh, can you tweet out that video? I will when the show's over. I actually meant to do that this morning.
So going back to your trade of getting a 2nd round pick next year, listen to the amount of picks they have next year in the 2025 draft. They have a 1st round pick, 2 2nd round picks right now via the Panthers, being the second one, a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, 3 6th round picks, being one from the Dolphins and one from the Steelers, and one of those 6th round picks could become a 4th round pick depending on Justin Fields and how much he plays with the Steelers. And then when you also add in the fact or the chance of Ian Cunningham becoming a GM, then you could also get a 3rd round pick there. So they're loading up next year with the amount of draft picks they'll have, and if they added another 2nd rounder to that, that's a war chest.
Well, and again, as I've said many times, next year's draft's supposed to be a lot deeper than this year's draft is. The Bears, if they only make 4 picks in this year's draft, they will still have made 25 over the 3 years that Ryan Poles has been the GM,
right?
Which is pacing well ahead of what you start with 7 every year, so that would be 21 in 3 years. Even if they only pick 4 this year, they still are at 25, way ahead of the game there.
Yep.
And this is the right year to have fewer picks. Also, well, why would I want a future 2nd? Well, look at what he's done with 2nd round picks the last couple of years. Now, one of them didn't work out, Chase Claypool. The other one really did work out in Montez Sweat. So if the Bears are sitting there with 3 2nd round picks in their pocket at the trade deadline, which is now going to be week 9, they might be in contention. They might need to add something. They might be looking to deal at the trade deadline again, and they have 3 2nd round picks to work with. So it's not just always about this year's draft.
And
it's also about the ammo you just have going forward.
And Brotherhood here in the chat took the words right out of my mouth that I was going to say next. And if Keenan Allen, they don't re-sign him, you can get a compensatory pick for Keenan Allen as well in next year's draft.
That would be the following year.
That would be the following year. Okay,
yeah, that would be.
You knew that. You were just playing.
Well, it's still more picks, but
right.
But yes, I thought it would be for next year.
It doesn't matter. The point to underline what you're both saying: more picks better than less picks, prize picks. We want picks. Picks are good. It gives you options. No one thought the 4th rounder at the time was going to turn into Keenan. It did. Let Poles cook. Poles is cooking. Bears are cooking. Massive momentum around the NFL. Kirk Herbstreit yesterday. Watch out for the Bears. Bears.
By the way, and there's few people I love more than Kirk Herbstreit, so this is not a jab at him at all. It's more so the reaction to that video. I've never seen one video go more viral when the guy was like, yeah, watch out for the Bears. I don't know anything about them. But yeah, watch out for him. And like, oh my God, Kirk Herbstreit likes the Bears.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you do the show every day?
I thought Dan Orlovsky farting on Pat McAfee's show was the video of the day.
That was a fart.
I think that was an audio drop.
Oh, well,
I think they might have messed with them because it just sounded it was too perfect a sounding of a fart. It
sounded too clear to be coming through whatever his microphone was in that given interview.
Most embarrassing thing you've ever done on set. Nothing can come close to the 17 coughs I've done.
I don't know. Having 2 bloody noses in Indianapolis was up there.
But nobody saw that. You survived. Have you ever done anything really embarrassing on any set?
He did run off the set though.
Right? Yeah, he left, but I don't think anybody.
I was gone for like 7 minutes.
Yeah, you were gone a while
because I couldn't get it to stop.
Yeah.
And then everyone accused me of being a cocaine addict, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Guy Finley, we apologize for bodily functions. It's you're absolutely right. We should not talk about that.
To give a little bit back on track here, I want to bring up what I brought up in our pre-show meeting. The Bills obviously need a wide receiver. They're picking at number 28, so you'd have to trade way down if that was a partner. What would it take in addition to pick 28 for you to say, all right, we're willing to trade down 19 picks?
Next year's first-round pick.
Even though that'll probably be another pick in the 20s?
That's why.
You think that's good enough?
I mean,
I'll take a – yeah, that's –
They also
you'd be close. You'd be close there.
They have 2 second-round picks this year as well.
Because you're Josh Allen injury away from that being a top 10 pick.
True.
Top 5 pick.
And then Trubisky's the quarterback.
I'd consider it because it kind of splits you don't have a second-round pick. I mean, you're back half of the first. You're getting a future one.
You got 2 1s, 2 2s.
Depends. It just depends on how the board falls and what the other options are. But it seems like the Bills are almost doing like a mini reset year to kind of keep their competitive window open.
Yeah, right now their wide receiver room looks like Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel.
And by the way, for those that keep fighting against this very real world in which the rookie quarterback contract window does matter, was a giant factor why the Bears moved on from Justin Fields. This trade alone shows you the Texans took on Stefon Diggs' contract. The Bills, who've already had to pay Josh Allen, had to get rid of it. They're going to have $31 million in dead cap, the most ever from a wide receiver in the history of the NFL, on their books this year. Basically taking a bath for a year because they have to.
Yep.
And hopefully they can come back in 2025 and be back to being the Bills. But it seems like it's – and by the way, I don't think they're going to be horrible this year. But it's just it's going to – this is the reality that the Bills are now in because they've paid their stud quarterback.
And to this point, I was talking with Shane Marsaw, who was on Monday night's Bears After Dark show from The Tape Never Lies, and he brought that up where he said, if Caleb Williams is great, let's say he wins a Super Bowl, just 1, maybe 2. Let's just say that for fun. How much money –
Why not 3?
Why not 3? 4. We can go crazy with this. How much would he command when it's time to pay Caleb Williams?
$8 billion.
Because Shane was like, this dude's going to want $1 billion. He is going to want to be the first $1 billion athlete.
But that's what's Hoge is reminding around the Diggs trade. But we don't have to go to Diggs. Look at the Chiefs. 3 Super Bowls in 6 years. Haven't missed an AFC Championship game. They traded Tyreek Hill because they had to figure out how they were going to pay Patrick Mahomes, and they did it in a better way than the Bills did. They got 5 draft picks for him. And that's what a winning organization has to do. You have to take guys and do something super unpopular, get rid of a player that everybody loves to fortify your draft, give yourself the flexibility to move forward. Then you got to hit on the draft pick. You got to do all that to be successful when you get the quarterback right and then have to pay him, which is why the Bears need to win 3 Super Bowls in the next 5 years.
All right, let's get to Super Chats and close out the show. And by the way, it's just the start of a big day here at CHGO Sports. We got CHGO Blackhawks on 2:30 following the loss last night, which sucked. They were winning that game last night, and they gave up 2 goals and then lost it. And the last one was stupid because they hit a weird spot on the boards and bounced away, and then the Islanders scored. Also, White Sox are coming up here in a little bit.
I just found out that game has been canceled.
Yeah.
At 2:30, are the Cubs? Is the Cubs game canceled?
No, the Cubs game's at like 6:15 tonight.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
White Sox game got postponed, and our Sox guys will be coming up, and they got postponed for being a bad franchise. Has nothing to do with the weather.
Got a win last night, buddy.
I watched it. I actually watched it because it's going to be fun to watch Garrett Crochet. And then Kopech, that's twice now. You had the bang bang there. Garrett Crochet to Michael Kopech. It's not bad. It's a little stressful.
You almost gave it away.
It's a little stressful with Kopech.
Gave a bomb in the 9th.
But they did win last night, and it was because of the weather, because it's fucking snowing today, which is
500.
But once again, shout out to Major League Baseball for scheduling both the White Sox and Cubs home the first week in April.
Well, they're both out of town
Brilliant.
next week, for the record, and it's going to be 70.
Right, which is
So that's just unlucky.
perfect. All right, and also CHGO Bulls playing situation coming up. 6 games left on the regular season schedule, and of course the Cubs, they go for the sweep over the Rockies tonight if they can actually play. Are we going to get beer bat chug number 3 for Cody Delmendo?
Let's hope so.
Go, Cubs, go.
Some beer bat chugs will be had Friday at the 120 Club here at Wrigley Field. So make sure you come out to our first of 14 Friday 120 clubs that we're doing events at Wrigley Field, starting at Murphy's Bleachers and going to the left. What?
I'm just looking at you, dude.
And then going into the left field bleachers and then finishing at Almost Home, presented by Circus Sports. Me and Cody, the meatballs in the stands. Let's go.
Yeah. Some of us will still be doing bear shows for you on Fridays.
Right here, working.
Braggs gets to go drink at Cubs games.
That's working.
I know.
Working.
I know.
That's working. Working.
It's really amazing.
If anybody feels bad for Braggs,
We
just know that Friday he gets to go drink at the Cubs game for work, and then he gets to go to the Final Four, which he's calling work, as he goes sits in the stands.
We bought Braggs a Friday Cubs bleacher season ticket. I mean, this guy's living the life over here.
Yep.
Did we really?
We did.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got. We had to pay for every Friday for this guy to go to Wrigley.
I thought the thing was just to drink at the bar.
We're still going to be at Murphy's.
No, he's got to go.
Then we're going to go to Almost Home. Carm's jealous.
I am.
Because nobody wants to go to a
You
Cubs
are
game
a
with
con
him.
man.
How am I con man? I didn't
You
come up.
con-
I did not
you
come up with this
con-
idea. I
came
did
up-
not come up
Whose
with this
idea was
idea.
it?
The management, the genius management we have at CHGO Sports, where they're going to put 2 meatballs in the stands to be with the people and promote this wonderful company with the energy and love that we have. Instead of having you 2 haters out there, we're going to have people that are nice, like me and Cody, out in the stands getting drunk with you fine people. So
I'll be
come on
there too.
out.
Don't worry
120
about
Club. You're not invited.
I was actually thinking about coming Friday, but now that I know that I'm not going to have a ticket, I'm not.
I might have to do my own show.
Cole Komet can come.
I'll be in the
You
right.
guys can't come.
I'll be in the right field bleachers.
Cole Komet can
Carm
come.
Fridays.
You guys can't come.
First person in the history of Chicago sports media to have a company buy him a season ticket.
I might seriously go right field bleachers and just start and scream at Braggs instead of left field sucks. Greg Bragg sucks. Greg, get the whole.
Well, hey, if you could maybe take a week off and get that voice tight so we could hear you from the right field.
I'm not going to lie.
bleachers.
It's crossed my mind 3 times this week that I just need to tell Carm to take a week
A
off.
week off before the draft party. You're gonna have to do it if your voice continues down the path.
I
It's
feel
down.
better today.
But you
You
can't do that
sound
next
terrible.
week because you're going to come home from Phoenix and have no voice for 3 weeks.
That's true.
I'm not working next Friday, so there's that.
There is
Nick
that.
Wright's getting married.
He is?
Well,
Yes, sir.
I didn't get that invite?
He's renewing. He's vow renewing. We're gonna have a vow renew. Vow renewing. They never had an actual wedding.
And I
They
vowed,
weren't rich then. Now they're rich. They can afford a wedding.
and I vow to all of you fine
Super
people that if you want to come out in 22 days to Joe's on Weed Street, you are going to have the time of your life for our NFL draft party presented by Circus Sports and Casa Azul. We're going to be there Thursday night for the first round. All this first round talk we had here today, we're going to be breaking it down live with Corey Wooten. Nick Moriano is going to be at Hallis Hall. So me, Adam, Mark, and Corey will be breaking it down. Steven going to be doing his fine work producing. All the CHGO Sports crew will be there. After party with DJ Trey Tunes. And then Friday night, we'll be there as well. Gary Fensick on hand. Have a chance to meet and greet Gary. And then, of course, Dalton and the Sheriffs will be the after party on Friday. Tickets, while they last, for Thursday night and then Friday. Make sure you guys come on out, and shout out to Collectors Cave one last time. Hit up MakeSigningsFunAgain.com. They have a bunch of really good signed memorabilia there for you guys to order. So, yes, go to allchgo.com/events. Get your tickets now to our NFL
By the way,
draft party.
Thursday is almost sold out, so get those tickets as soon as possible because it's going to sell out. Friday, however, more availability. And I just like to point out, though, Friday's going to be super fun. It's going to be not that you want to hang out with us, but Friday's going to be your opportunity to really chill with us probably after the show.
Yep.
I not totally confirmed. I think I'm staying downtown the entire weekend.
Me too.
And Friday night's definitely going to be when we're still going to be having a celebration. We get 2 rounds to talk about. And then on top of that, when we're done with that show, probably, gonna stick around for a couple. So
Yeah.
We're gonna have a fun time Friday night. Dalton, Carman, the Sheriffs. I'm excited about that. In all seriousness, I'm excited. I like country music, so I'm excited about the country band after on Friday night. I already got my own full table. You guys aren't invited to sit there.
Listen,
Well, you're not going to be sitting there. You'll be on the stage.
Yeah, but when I
have been talking to Dalton and the Sheriffs, and Friday night's going to be special, so just come on out. That's all I'm telling you. It's going to be unbelievable.
Do you know which song you're going to sing yet?
There's a couple of options right now. We're working through the details.
I love that.
I have to get my voice back first. But there is a chance that I will be able to bring people up with me. So, depending on how many Crown and Diets somebody's had over here by that time.
A lot.
I'm bracing for worst case scenario, which is by the end of Friday, Woot and I are just going to be sitting there by ourselves talking about the
Woot's coming on stage
because
with me.
he has no voice. You're hammered. Wooten actually wants to
I'm
talk
just
football
glad
with
that
me.
we understand what the expectation is going to be. here.
Corey's going to be my football guy. We're going to be in the middle of the 3rd round. We're finally going to be getting to the pick 75, and the 2 of the 4 of us are going to be excited about it. You're going to be asleep. You're going to be drunk. Woot and I are going to be like breaking down some random defensive tackle from
I got to tell you,
wherever that we've never heard of.
Corey Wooten is phenomenal anytime he's in front of a microphone, but Corey Wooten on draft night, watch out.
It's been
Yeah.
fun. All right, let's get to these supers.
Super dupers.
Let's start with Eli. Eli, $4.99, gonna miss one of the nicest guys on Bears Twitter and some of the best cap analysis out there. On the bright side, maybe I'll work for Brad one day.
There you go. Keep that relationship rolling, Eli. You never know.
Yep, Brad's a good dude. We're
We
going
are
to miss
gonna
him.
miss Brad.
dying,
Ryan,
though.
Ryan, $4.99. If we trade
He's
back to later in the first round with new return rules, would Cooper DeJean still be reasonable? Electric on special teams and defense, still prefer the trenches. The problem with Cooper, and I agree with you on the return side of things, but the Bears are pretty stacked in their secondary.
They ain't doing that.
I'm not against
I am.
going after a returner, but in the first round seems a little rich. Even Devin Hester was a 2nd round pick. But you don't have one. Why do you do that?
Did you just sniff into the mic?
You don't realize that actually comes through on the podcast.
It came out real loud.
I definitely do realize that it does, but I just didn't like the take, and that's
Are you
why.
smelling
That's
the
why.
mic?
So you sniffed the microphone?
I'm giving you a reaction that I don't like it.
Let's all smell the mics.
You have to understand. You have to speak calm. Sometimes it's difficult. I get it.
Everyone smell their mics.
This is the worst audio I've ever had.
Somewhere else in
It's
this
like-
company right now is like, I have to use that microphone.
We're
later
in
today.
the Listen, nobody around here can complain about hygiene. The next time I see somebody do something clean around here will be the first time, other than me and Jim. Hey, when you take out the garbage one time in your 7 years of employment here, let me know.
Philip Averill sends us a $1 super chat. No message attached to it, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Philip.
Not thanking him for $1.
Yes, you are.
You know, I have to say, when Brandon Spano gave me that phone
No,
call
thank you.
and tried to recruit me over from NBC Sports Chicago, taking out the garbage was not part of the conversation. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's what I was talking about. Hey, Carm, will you take out the garbage if we hire you to be a...
I had to drive you to the tow lot yesterday.
It's very nice of you. One of
You
the-
got towed?
Yeah.
You are careless.
Oh, this guy. This guy, ladies and gentlemen. I parked on Michigan Avenue you have to move it from 9 to 9:15, the flashing lights. I got out there at 9:20.
So, past 9:15?
Do you know how long it takes to load up a car onto a tow thing? It doesn't happen in a minute. Chicago, you're the tow goats, man.
Dude.
You all are the tow goats.
Tow goats.
You guys are the tow goats.
Dude, they can tow pretty fast.
I mean, you know, it's a sick job. Let me just sit here let me get this guy 1 minute in. That's how I'd like to be treated. I get it. I need to follow the rules. No problem. I get such great value with my property taxes around here.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you on whether
I'm
or not,
wrong though. I am wrong. I'm wrong.
You
I'm wrong.
know that this is how Chicago is.
Correct. I'm wrong. Correct. I'm wrong.
And you also park illegally every day.
That's not true.
I have to go move my car. How many times a week do you say that? I have to go move my car.
Continue the show, please.
All right.
Thank you, Nick, for understanding. It's bogus how they did Carm.
Nick's from Waukegan. He doesn't understand the dynamics of parking in the city.
Nick knows all. If we're gonna, you want me to be nice to the city? I probably do it all the time on that thing, and 1 out of 100 times I got caught. So
Yeah. Thanks for Braggs for driving you to the tow lot.
it was very nice of him.
Was it the third level down one?
We had a lovely time. We got on Bears Chat in the Discord.
Oh yeah, there was somebody driving on the Riverwalk.
That's how I got back home. Driving.
He was very confused. How the hell do I get out here? Go up that ramp, please.
I think that's where you parked your car, actually.
Yeah.
I have to
towed
say, having been down there many times, because
It's a maze.
one of the parking lots I used to park in when I worked at a different station, you came out on that lower level. That's lower level.
It's
And
a
there's
whole
some crazy stuff that happens down there.
it's a whole community down there. Those are my people.
Those are your people. With Edward, $5 There's no such thing as gross cheese.
Thank you.
Never existed, never will. Those two words don't belong together. I agree.
Yeah, there is. Have you heard of the Green Bay Packers, Edward? And currently, 55 minutes in, 686 votes. Ranch with a commanding lead, 65%.
What was the question?
To lame cheese, 35%.
What was
Ranch
the
or blue cheese? Ranch is winning, 65% to blue cheese, 35%. Shout out to the chat. People of integrity, people of class, people of good taste.
Ranch sucks. Shut up.
Okay.
K of Spades, $9.99. First super chat. Welcome.
All right.
Watch,
Thank
listen
you.
every day. Bears fan in college football country, Alabama, going to fly up this year for a game and a CHGO tailgate. Any way to package one of our 2 seconds next year with the 9 to get a lower 1, 2, and 3 this year?
So it is interesting that you bring that up because, in theory, the Bears could pay a premium to go up to, say, 5. But what would they be doing that for? Are they doing it for Joe Alt? Are they doing it to get
I don't think she's, or I don't think he or she amounts. I don't think they're talking about moving up.
They're not?
Moving back, lower one, but basically turning one of those. The easiest way to think about that is to turn
lower.
one of those
I got
future seconds into a this year's second.
I see.
And apparently a third, too, somehow.
That's...
Look, I think...
I wouldn't rule that out
I
completely.
think any of these scenarios are on the table. But I don't think if there was ever a year, though, in which it doesn't happen, it might be this year. Like, I can also see them just making 4 picks and moving on. Pizzatola.
My Pizzatoli.
$5. I apologize for calling Carm a loser yesterday. He is definitely the 4th or 5th best player in his 8-man tennis club.
You know, tough loss last night, Pizzatoli. I know that you were there in spirit as I lost in a heartbreaker, 6-4, 7-6. Had my chances.
Didn't even make it to the third, huh?
I staved off 3.
I'm not sure that's considered a heartbreaker.
Staved off 3 match points to get into the tiebreak.
Sounds like a beatdown.
End the show, please. I'm still in my feelings about last night. I should have, could have, would have. Didn't happen. Tough
Hands
loss.
down, $4.99. Let's effing go. CHGO. Effing bear down.
Hands down always puts me in a good
effing
mood.
down, yeah.
I love Hands Down. It's my guy.
Hands down, this was a great show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Send the link off to a friend. Come join the draft party. You don't want to miss it.
Anybody going out to the Cub game tonight, I'm thinking about going too. So if you do see me there,
You're not going to be there.
Why would you go?
Because I have nothing to do
It's going to be
outside of
30
prepare for the
degrees.
draft for 8,000 hours.
It's going to be horrible.
Put the ski hat on, have a cocktail, and enjoy yourself. Me and Phil Blue are hanging out tonight. We got a Brian Souter. It's going to be a good time. Get a Michael Chorney going. I love early season baseball.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But
You love Souter and Blue and Chorney. You're a big fan.
I like blue cheese.
Chorney's my first ever intern, a.k.a. BG Boy. Naked Truth About Sports, 1998.
What did you just call him?
We called him BG Boy because he just chilled out and he was,
I thought you said a different letter.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'll figure it out soon enough.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks again to Brad Spielberger, not only for jumping on today, but all the great content and insight he's given the show over the years. Congrats to him on his new gig, and we look forward to him dominating NFL front offices.
I hope that Kyle Long feels better. That was rude, whoever said something about him.
I hope he comes on the show Monday and just immediately talks shit to you.
I also heard that 5 R's earlier in that super chat is also $1, so they will not be thanked.
Greedy. We appreciate all the support always. We are out of here.
Are we doing diehard overtime today, Braggs?
No.
All right, I'll be in it myself.
I will be working on
I
that.
do got to give a shout out to the diehards. I do.
Okay.
Because there's one in particular that's taking care of me this weekend. Matthew Gregory.
This is unbelievable. I'm glad this got brought up. Do you know this?
So
In Arizona?
Lives in Arizona.
Are you going to sleep in his house?
I'm staying at his
I
place.
knew you were going to do
Yep.
that.
Well, because the media hotels are crazy expensive. And so me and Matt were already, planning to hang out over the weekend. So I gave him a ring and I said, "Where are you staying, Matt? What's going on?" So Matt Gregory, shout out to you. He's getting the all-inclusive CHGO diehard. He's going to be making me breakfast. We're going golfing Sunday morning. We might even stop by the PHNX studios.
I would like to personally apologize for the fact that somebody on this show, instead of getting his own hotel room, is literally couch surfing with our great listener, Matt Gregory.
We have a company one of our 4 networks is in Phoenix.
What was I going to sleep in the
Why are you
studio?
bothering our diehard?
What was I going to sleep in the studio?
He's literally...
Call Saul, call Bo, call anybody we work with. Ask if they have a room for you.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Well, me and Matt Gregory are cool. I know Matt. He's
Do
cool.
you?
Yeah,
How well do you know him?
very well.
Came to the one thing we did that one time in Phoenix.
Have you ever,
he's cool.
You've hung out with Matt?
Yes.
Where? Exactly.
In our happy hours.
You at the burrito place we went to that one night.
You're like the coworker who asks random people to help you move. Hey, can you help me move?
Nick Moriarty slept with
Yeah.
some hobos in a hostel in California.
He paid for that's what you should have done. There's got to be hostels in
That was on Nick.
listen.
That was on Nick.
You can get a room. You can go.
What's wrong with hanging out with Matthew Gregory? You don't like him?
I just feel
he
bad.
works. He works in Arizona. He lives right by the stadium. I got to be at the stadium every day,
Dude.
So
Dude, you're high maintenance. You need
I'm
your
not
own.
high
You
maintenance.
couldn't. You told us some story. I'm not going to get into details.
I'm not
to.
sleeping.
You said that you got some bar and people are coming. You couldn't take some of your profits and get a hotel room for one night.
I haven't gotten any profits from that yet, and B, no, I'm staying with Matthew Gregory. That's what we do. That's what the diehard community is all about.
Hey, Charlie.
Family. Me and Matthew Gregory gonna have breakfast every single morning.
Alejandro, I want to make something very clear, though. This is not a CHGO thing he's going to. This is not on the company at all. This is him going to follow his favorite team in Arizona. We're not sending him down there.
Hey,
This is not CHGO unwilling to put him into a hotel. This is him going on his own leisure trip after CHGO is getting him free tickets to the Cubs game on Friday. Nah,
I'm
he's put
supposed to be working.
he put this
Get
on the
in
calendar
your
months
office
ago.
and do something. Jesus.
so
Supposed to be working. I've only been talking about this damn tournament for
Okay.
6 months.
Pizzatola, where do you live? I need somewhere to stay tonight.
we are out of here.
We did get one $20 super chat
I'm
during
sorry.
that whole thing that we just
See,
did.
$20.
Kevin Carlson, $20. I need to come to the draft party. I mean the Caleb Williams party.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
And the Caleb Williams
That is
party-
what it is.
It is. It is.
It's exactly what it is.
Thursday and Friday, though. It's a 2-day celebration. It's going to be a lot of fun.
10-year celebration. Damn it. You better be everything that's been
10
advertised.
years? I'll try 100.
There you go. Great. 100.
All right.
Now we can go.
We love everybody. And I legitimately...
Brags will be sleeping in my dog's kennel. Matthew Gregory. That's what we need. To the kennel you go, buddy.
Matthew, please. I hope that's where he's...
Seriously, put him in the kennel.
We'll do a live check-in.
Well, now I
you
do
guys.
need to see this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know Matthew
Hey,
Gregory was
hey,
giving away free rooms. I'll go this weekend to the Final Four.
Free rooms.
Hey.
Free rooms at Matt's.
hey, Matthew, you can bail on him. It's okay. You can rethink this. I've made offers in the past, and I'm like, I can't believe this person took me up on that. Kidding me? If you're having that thought at all, I support you bailing on Brags.
Maybe Monday morning, because what? At 12 o'clock here, it's 10 o'clock there. So maybe Monday morning while Matt's making me breakfast, we'll check in here on the show.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. We have a
Love you,
good
Matt.
show planned for you tomorrow. Caleb Williams special coming your way. Bears Mock Draft 2.0 coming out soon. And we'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.